BNB, we start with 1 hour chart. You want to see how we can look for trade. If we refer to our analysis in my last video, since the price was within the stop, we mentioned if the price cannot break the previous stop, we can expect this one turn to a bigger correction later based on forward chart. I will explain. And right now, what I see here, we are looking at this. Technically, what I see here, we can expect this one turn to a correction and the price drop. Okay. Anyway, we start with higher time frame. We want to see what's the next and how we can look for trade. In this case, we move to daily chart. First of all, if we refer to our analysis, since the price was within this move, we mentioned we were looking for the flat. We want to see that whether the price can retest the previous top or not. As you can see, the way it's moving is really corrective, and mostly we can expect even this one turn to a deeper move. How deep it can go, at least we can expect that if the price drop, because what I can see here is a correction. Price can drop to 295. Okay, what I'm going to explain about this is it doesn't mean the price have to drop to 295 before we take the trade. We need to know about this possibility, because what I get here is a really corrective move. Okay, because if we move to forward chart, all right, again, if you refer to our analysis in my last video, since the price was within this move, I mentioned we need to see the breakout of the previous stop, which is 380. If not, this one can turn to a correction in relative to this as a corrective for one more drop. I explained this one, and exactly this is what we get. And right now, what I'm looking for, I want to see if this one turned to a correction, it give us one more drop with the breakout of the previous low, which is 320. We can expect the price drop to 295. That means this one can turn to a really deep move, including the internal bigger correction. Okay, and if we get that one, then we can expect, because we have been looking for this flat, and we mentioned we can expect this one turn to a deeper move. That means this one can turn to expanding flat. Okay, this case we will have either we look at it as expanding flat, or we consider this one as a first in relative to this, and this is the last one. But if we go with the second option, that means we put these three waves as a internal correction in relative to this, and if we want to put this one in relative to this move with internal correction here, the next down move have to retest the previous low. Whether the price is going to retest, that means drop to somewhere within the, I mean, around the 200, we cannot confirm. The only things I'm looking for, I'm not going to the details. The only things is I'm considering this one. I'm looking at this move as a correction, and I want to see whether this one can give me one more drop or not. And if the price drop, how deep it can go, 295. Then from there we can consider this move is finished. Then any reversal from there we can take the trade. It doesn't mean the price cannot reverse from here. Even we can expect this one turn to more deeper correction before we get the one more drop. That's why we need to be quite careful, because nowadays the way the market is moving is really corrective. All right, because still we are within the correction. To find the next direction is not that easy. That's why we try to look for trade, and any trade is a short term. Mostly we're looking for buy, but any trade if we get for buy is a short term, because as we know, based on the bigger picture, we are within this correction, and technically we need to see one more drop with the breakout of the previous low that can give us a confirmation for the next move. Okay, anyway, right now we're looking at this part. As I mentioned, we can expect this one turn to a correction, and even this one turn to a deeper move. How deep it can go? 295 after the breakout of the 320. We need to be careful if we are looking for the trade. But right now, what I see here based on forward chart, mostly we can expect the price to drop. We don't have any trade set up for buy. Okay, and even if we move to wave 1 hour chart, we can of course look for the continuation. We can expect the price to give us a flat and the price to drop. Okay, that means there is a possibility we look for short-term buy, but if we get any correction of flag from here, we can look for buy, but with the breakout of the previous stop, which is around 362. We have to see whether there is a continuation or not. If the price cannot break, then we just take out the trade. Right now we don't have any trade set up. If we want to look for buy, we need to see the correction here, or like to look for the short-term trade, which is, I would suggest, with this current situation for the market, we don't trade for the buy within this correction. The only thing is we wait to confirm the correction, and if we get a price drop, then from there we look for buy. Okay, buying or selling right now, it doesn't make sense. Okay, unless we see the continuation with the breakout of this and sharp move flag, we take the trade, and with the breakout of this low, we start to manage it. What I suggest here, we wait for this correction. All right. Anyway, we don't have really good trade setup. As I mentioned, any trade setup is a short-term trade, and we try to wait for the proper trade setup that can give us a next correction. We don't want to be trapped because sometimes the market, they can be manipulated. Maybe we just technically analyze the chart, we get the trade setup, but it doesn't move in our direction. That's why if you get any trade setup, we see it's not moving within the 3 to 4 hours with the situation we have it, we just stick with the trade. We don't stay for the trade, especially if you're looking for buy for long term, as long as we see the confirmation. Okay, unless we get the trade, we see it's in the profit, at least move our stop loss to break even and just let it go. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.